Hello, everyone from Chelsea Fan TV. Hope we're all doing very well, guys. Welcome back to another late night show, another late night stream where we'll be going through all of the latest Chelsea news and transfer news as well. Big up to everyone tuning in on this fine Friday evening. If you're not out having a good time, you are here. Seeing what's going on with the sixth best team in the league. Seventh? We'll find out. We'll see what happens. I am hosting Amir. That's me. Stephen, willing to doubles getting salary, but not willing to buy a proven striker. Clown Lake out. No. And I wasn't late. Thank you very much. On time for once. I was on time. So I'll give myself that one. Big up to you as well, Steve. Yeah, man, it's heating up. It is heating up. You know, one of the things that I think I'm going to start doing, transfer daily during the summer. I know I'm fully aware that there are a number of sources out there that are a load of rubbish. They are just full of waffle. They don't know what they're talking about. Or they just talk. Don't even think about whether they know it or not. They just say it anyway. But ultimately, a source is a source. And we find out at some point whether they are right or wrong. So, yeah, I think I'm going to start doing a lot more daily transfer videos. Although I say that, I did release one earlier updating on the Jamie Gittens situation, which I'm obviously going to be talking about on this live. It did not do particularly well, but that won't deter me. It's not all about views, people. Sometimes you just got to enjoy the grind. Enjoy the grind. Big up to Jordan. Evening to you as well, Philip. Good to see you on the stream, mate. Yusuf says, I'm bringing my mum to the game tomorrow. Better be a win for my birthday, especially for the day after. Absolutely right, mate. Well, I hope we can do it. Good to see you bringing the family up. The rumours and sources and rubbish otherwise be on Sky Sports News. My brother is officially heating up in West London now. Yeah, man, it's starting to get. Look, we're starting to get real an understanding of what Chelsea are looking for and prioritising. Ultimately, it's all talk, isn't it? Talk is talk, and the money will show us where we are willing to invest. It's squeaky bum time. Yeah, that's one way of saying it, definitely. SGM says, Alex, realistically, do you think our top three exits are where we can make some cash? Do you think our top three exits? Number one exit, Nkunku. Number two exit, Disasi. Number three exit, Chalobah. Number four exit. Potentially Tosin if he's not happy with his role in the team, which would be as a rotation option. So that's an option. But I'll just say three. Dewsbury Hall, number 4. Sterling, number 5. Chilwell, number 6. Nkunku. Did I already say Nkunku? Broha, yeah. Felix won't get sold because we won't make any profit. So that's why he will not get sold. It is absolutely true. Money talks. There you go. That's what Jordan has to say. Can't disagree with many of them. Although we won't get our money back for Felix, we won't make profit on Kieran Dewsbury Hall. Difficult to say if we'll actually be able to sell Sterling as well if he's not willing to take a significant pay cut. These are all factors that need to be considered. Kepa as well. Good shout. Good shout, Sean. Did I say Doucheberry Hall? More like Kieran Dewsbury does fuck all. How about that? There's another one for you. Mudryk, no. especially if he tests positive, then we're definitely not going to be able to sell him. Who's going to want to buy a player who's not even willing to play because he's been done for doping? So, no, don't think that's the case whatsoever. Listen, guys, it's a nice late night evening. I've got my cup of tea, my Chelsea cup of tea. And ultimately, we look up to the game tomorrow, and I think we have to look at that game with a sense of hope and a sense of belief. And we're just talking about Everton here. We're not really going much further than that. I believe we'll beat Everton. I think that we'll probably win that match. I think my prediction's 3-1. I did a preview, which I'll be releasing later on or early in the morning tomorrow. I just don't see how we lose that game. It's one of those games that if we were to lose against Everton, I just think it would be criminal. Anyway, let's crack on to the news and let's actually see what's being reported, because it's not just me saying these things. There are actually there are people who are saying this. Chelsea are already in talks with Jamie Gittens representatives to explore the prospects of a potential transfer. They are tempting him with a generous salary of 6 to 7 million euros. Gittens currently earns around 3 million euros per year. If an offer between 50 and 60 million euros were made, Dortmund would be willing to talk. This is according to Sky Sports, the German Sky Sports. So if you actually go on any articles to do with this, they're not in English, so it's a little bit difficult. The nice thing about Vince, he does translate. I don't know if he does that personally. Maybe he speaks a few different languages, but yeah, he makes it a little bit easier in that sense. So Jamie Gittens essentially getting a double what his current salary is at the moment. That's what Chelsea are offering. How much is that? 3 million per year. Let's just 3 million divided by. So he's on about 56 grand a week in euros. I don't know what that is in pounds. That will obviously be less. So we're looking at about 45k, maybe 50k in pounds. And that's going to be going up to between 6 and 7 million. So if we were just to double his current salary, we'd be looking at about 120 grand a week, which is the same as what Tosin makes. That's 10 grand less than what Cole Palmer makes. And I just don't understand it. I don't understand it. This is a deal. Look, I'm very optimistic about a number of signings. I haven't got a problem with signing Delap. I haven't got a problem with signing Dean Hoysen. I have a problem with this deal. I don't really like this deal. And I don't like the timing of it. I know that obviously the season isn't over. There's a number of games left to play. Fully aware of that. Like, I can appreciate that. But can we not just look at this and logically think, where should our priorities be? Should our priorities be with a winger? Like, Jamie Gittens isn't the only name that's been thrown around here either. We've had Alejandro Garnacho. We had it was another winger as well. Fuck's sake, can't remember his name. Garnacho and Gittens are the two that come to mind straight away. Why? I just don't get it. Doesn't really make any sense. And again, it's not just the one sort as well. We had Graham Bailey coming out confirming that Chelsea are very keen on Jamie Gittens. Not just keen, very keen. Interesting choice of words. He says there have been conversations. Gittens wants to come back to the Premier League. He's ready now. So it's a real possibility. There have been talks about him recently, and it's been progressing in recent weeks. He could very well be the one. What is the one? I don't really know if this is just something that Graham Bailey's sort of waffling on about, because, you know, he's saying a few things that make me think, really? Chelsea are very keen on this player. I actually believe that, by the way. Just interesting that he says that. And he also says Gittens could very well be the one. We don't need the one. We need the 9, the number 9, the striker. We need the number 2, the centre back. That is what we need at the moment. That is what we need. So there is no doubt in my mind that those should be a huge priority for us. And if we're not going to prioritize those positions, then it's just an absolute, I don't know, it's just not for me. I'm not going to lie to you, it's not for me. Yeah. You don't believe that? You don't know that you don't think we'll beat Everton? Listen, I think Everton's going to be a tough game. I'll tell you why I think we'll beat Everton. I think we will beat Everton for 2 main reasons. I'll give you 2 reasons. 3 reasons, actually. I'll give you 3. The first reason being that Chelsea's record at home against Everton is fantastic. Brilliant record. Last year we won 6-0. We generally win at home against Everton. Don't know why. Just like we always lose away at Everton, we generally win when we play at home. The second reason is because James Tarkowski is injured. Everton's best centre-back is injured, arguably their best player, James Tarkowski, one of their best players. So they'll have Michael Keane in defence, a significant downgrade based on what they have at the moment. And the third reason that I think we can beat Everton is because the pressure is on. We saw at Fulham that the team did dig deep for the results. Although I dislike Maresca, I hate the way we set up under him. I do believe that the players. Oh, fucking hell. Amir, yeah, sorry, mate. I didn't read it properly, did I? I need a drink. Right, there you go. Let's get back to it. We'll talk about Everton later. Let's go back to Jamie Gittens. So, listen, this is a player that Chelsea are obviously very keen on. Let's have a look at his stats. 28 appearances in the Bundesliga this season. 8 goals, 4 assists, 3 yellow cards, no reds. Okay. He's playing 63% of minutes available, playing 63% of sorry. God, I'm not on form today, am I? He's starting 63% of the time. He's playing 61% of minutes available. He's involved in 21% of the goals. Then you look to the Champions League, slightly less goal participation, understandable. And he's playing a little bit more. He's playing 79% of the time in the Champions League. 14 appearances, 5 GA. It's not bad. It's not bad, is it? It's not bad. Is it £50 million? It's not £50 million. It's not. Okay, it's not. That's just my assessment. If you want to go into further detail, you could then look at the teams he's played against this season in the order of each match day. And you look at how many goals he's scored and how many assists he's had in a set time frame. So they started the season off, Dortmund, and Jamie Gittens was doing all right. He wasn't amazing. He wasn't bad. He was doing pretty good. All right. 2 goals on the opening day. Game week 4, he's got an assist as well. Game week 7, he's come off the bench against St. Pauli and got an assist. They won the game. Freiburg, goal and assist. Bayern Munich got them a draw with a goal. It's pretty good. Great run of form from game week 11 as well. On fire at this point. Goal against Freiburg, goal against Bayern, goal against Mönchengladbach, assist against Hoffenheim, Leverkusen, Holstein Kiel. And by the way, at this point, this is actually around sort of January, if I'm not wrong. Yes, it was. That was the 14th of January when he scored his last goal. This is when we were talking about the player. I was looking at his stats up to this point, thinking it's quality, really, really good form. Now, if you'd have stopped the season at game week 17 in Germany, what is that? Let's have a look. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 GA and 17. That's decent. That's exceptional. Yeah, that's really good. And I would have said straight away, like, I would have said 50 million, but I would have said, stick a bid in for him, 30 mil, 35. Wouldn't have been a problem. But this is where the inexperience shows. Look what's happened since game week 18. 1 goal in 12 games. So, it's kind of like what's happened with Chelsea, isn't it? We had a great start, and then we've fallen off a cliff in terms of our form in 2025. Funny enough, the downfall actually started away at Everton when we drew, and we went away thinking it was a good draw. Come to think of it, we really should have won that game. And if we had have won that game, I think that would have given us a huge confidence boost to be able to break down low blocks, which has since been like our kryptonite. And his minutes have been slightly more limited. Look, I don't know if he's had any injury problems. As far as I'm aware, he has had no injuries. But his minutes have gone down as well. 60, 58, 5, 7, 18, 1, 20. He's not been as consistent with his game time. I don't know why. I can't give you the answers for that. But when we're looking at spending that much money on a player, you have to try and look at it from the perspective of, are we actually getting value for money here or being ripped off? I personally think we're being ripped off. And I don't see a player that's worth 50 million. And I don't see a player that's worth 40 million. I see a player that's worth 35. I wouldn't go any higher than 35. You're telling me that Chelsea are negotiating with Dortmund at the moment, negotiating with the player specifically, trying to double his salary? That is, it's just a big no. Big no for me, this deal. Big no. Again, look at his current market value. This is in euros, not pounds. He's been at Dortmund for a long time. He was 4 million in 2022. He's been part of the Dortmund setup for a few years now. He's 20 years old. And he's at a very good valuation as a young player. There's no doubt about that. He's continued to progress at the club. And I don't want to criticize the season he's had, because that's not really my intention when I speak about this player. That's not my intention. I'm just trying to paint a picture and understand what Chelsea's priorities are. If our priority is Jamie Gittens and you're willing to offer him £120,000 a week or more, potentially, that's only if he's on 6 million. If he's on 7 million, I don't know how much more that is, maybe 140, whatever it is. It's more money than Cole Palmer, by the way. It's extortionate money in that regard. Like, how the fuck does that work? Then that money could be better spent in other positions. Now, the flip side is we could have a great summer, sign loads of players, sign established players, continue signing young players like we always have anyway, but also brought in quality and experience on top of that. Ready-made talent to produce straight away. Not in a year, not in 2 years, not in 6 months, straight away. As in, they sign in the summer and they play game week 1 and perform. Awesome. Clear as day. That's the answer. But listen, if we're going for these kind of players and we're also going for experience, I don't have a problem with it. But there's obviously a budget. There's got to be a budget that's allocated to this. And you're telling me that 50, 40 million pounds, whatever it is being allocated on this deal. I mean, according to Sky Sports, they said if an offer between 50 or 60 million euros was made, Dortmund would be willing to talk. Why even talk? I mean, are you kidding me? 50 million pound. Done. Take the money. I will take your money if I was in Dortmund's shoes. There's no reason whatsoever for Dortmund to even feel the necessity to negotiate if they're seeing a bid of 50 million pounds. And I don't really understand where that valuation's coming from. I struggle to see it. I mean, I can't say I've got the eye test. I haven't watched Jamie Gittens that much. If anyone has watched Dortmund consistently and knows what Jamie Gittens does on the pitch, maybe it's a similar situation to Pedro Neto, who I really like. And I don't have a problem with his GA as much as I do with a player like, let's just say, Maresca or Sancho, because I think he worked much harder than both of them. And I think that when you work really hard for the team, defensively, with the pressing, with the runs that you make, very unselfish, I think that does give you leeway. It shouldn't, because you should be getting GA from everyone. Even Maresca come out and said that. He came out and said, I think Neto has already scored 4 or 5 goals in the Premier League. Our wingers, for me, they have to score at the end of the season around 10 goals. So for the amount of chances they have every game, 1-to-1 chances. So Pedro is doing well, but no doubt he can do better. So listen, if Pedro Neto is worth about that money, my eye test says, honestly, I don't have a massive issue with Pedro Neto. I think he can do better. Absolutely. He has to do better. But this is his highest tally in the Premier League, if I'm not wrong. So we kind of knew what we signed when we signed him, and he's still performing better than he ever had. Yeah. Would I take Vardy on a free? No, absolutely not. Definitely not. You also had a surgery in March just gone. Oh, it doesn't come up that he's had injury problems. He has a persistent shoulder injury that keeps coming back every year. Brian says, I'm pretty sure Tyreek George would do similar or better than Gittens if given time. We don't need to sign kids, for fuck's sake. Like, my opinion is this. If you mix it with ready-made talent, it's not a problem, because the kids can learn. When it's just kids, though, what they're essentially doing is they're accepting that their spine will not be a spine for another 5, 6, 7, 8 years. You sign a player who's 20, you keep him in the Chelsea squad. Presumably, you're going to extend his contract at this point as well until he's 27. Then he becomes one of the older players, and that's your spine. And I think that's Chelsea's plan, to be totally honest with you. Big up to Andrew. Hope you're doing well, mate. Jay, big up to you as well. Thank you for the kind message. Gittens is a top prospect, but prospect and player are very different. That's what Epstein, Egbali, and Bluco don't understand. I mean, he is a top prospect. You're absolutely right. But why are we looking at wingers? I don't get it. Why are we looking at them? You will find gems. That's fair enough. You will find gems, but I don't know. It just doesn't seem like the right play for me. We could all turn out to be totally wrong in this. Let's just say Chelsea sign him. He could be the best transfer like Cole Palmer. You just don't know, do you? You just don't know. Let's move on from Jamie Gittens, though. For me, I'm just putting it out there. Thumbs down. Not a fan. Not a fan. Let's move on to the next piece of news. We spoke yesterday about Petrovic being linked with Aston Villa, being with Juventus. Nothing about those two teams today, but you have heard a little update from the side of Bayern Leverkusen. And this has been reported by Kicker. The kicker reports that Chelsea goalkeeper Jordi Petrovic, who is currently on loan at Strasbourg, is a candidate for Bayern Leverkusen's #1 position. It is well known that Leverkusen are looking to improve its goalkeeping position in the summer. Matej Kovar will more than likely leave the club while Lucas Hedradecki will be demoted. But who replaces the Finnish international is still unknown. Espanyol goalkeeper Juan Garcia has been linked to the club in recent weeks and is still a candidate for summer. While he will cost around 25 million euros, Stefan Ortega and Noah Atubalo are other names that have been mentioned. Leverkusen are looking for keepers who will cost less than 30 million euros. Not even pounds. Bloody hell, they're cheap. And I honestly feel like there is more to this article. I'm pretty sure, yeah. But just that part in itself, saying 30 million euros, less than that is what they're looking to pay for a goalkeeper, makes me think that you don't actually have any genuine interest in Petrovic. Or if you do, you don't really understand Chelsea. Because Chelsea, we're all about the profit. We are Profit FC, Balance the Books FC, Accounting FC. All the way. Love it. Love a bit of profit. I'm not saying I do. I'm just saying what the club like. What Clearlake like. You're telling me they're going to accept a bid of £30 million? No chance. No way. You cannot accept or even consider a bid of less than 50. He's 25 years old and some of his metrics are the best in the world. In the world. His passing metrics are the best. If you compare his stats to Robert Sanchez has made 7 mistakes leading to goals if you include penalties conceded. Petrovic has made none. His average performances per game is better. I'm talking numbers here, not opinion. His distribution is better. His saves per game is higher. He has nothing to prove. And I think we are sitting on a goalkeeper on the cusp. And I do say that on the cusp, but I think in a year or two, people will be talking about Petrovic as a world-class goalkeeper. I was so impressed with this guy last season. And to think that he was disrespected and thrown to Strasbourg, of all places, where he has developed. And I guess from a development perspective, you could say, well, great. But I think he would have developed at Chelsea as well. I think he absolutely solidified himself as our best goalkeeper last season. It just seems strange to me that we even shipped him off to Strasbourg. Anyway, let's finish the article. Why not? Well, Chelsea goalkeeper Petrovic is another candidate. The 25-year-old is impressed. While he has been on loan at Strasbourg in Liga, it is said that the Serbian has similar qualities to Manuel Neuer. So quite the compliment. However, it is unknown if Chelsea will part ways with Petrovic. If the Premier League side decides to part ways with Petrovic, then Leverkusen will have a chance. But even then, the timing of the decision will also matter. If the decision is made too late, then Leverkusen will likely have looked elsewhere. I'm telling you right now, massive thumbs down for this deal. And I'm calling bullshit on it as well. I think it's a load of crap. I think if Bayern Leverkusen were really serious about this player, well, obviously they'd make an offer for him, but at the same time, can we not just agree that he is worth much more than 30 million? And that's a compliment to the player. The player has... It's getting really warm now. The player has performed consistently for 2 years in Europe, and he was the MLS's best goalkeeper. It's no surprise that his value should have increased year upon year upon year. Let's see what we're saying in the chat. Alex has seen the light. Don't know what we're talking about here. What light? I mean, I'm seeing a lot of light here. That was a bad joke. Talk about Jamie Gittens not missing any games. Didn't miss any games last season. He's not a one-season wonder, is it, though? I mean, you just don't know what you're on about. He's the most creative player in the league. Been underutilized, no doubt, but he's not been a one-season wonder. He's still been exceptional for us. But his standard is that good that you actually expect more, which is why I'm still disappointed with the way Maresca's played him. Fucking hell. Jesus. Oh my goodness. Jetmir, he says, if the sporting directors wouldn't get so much wrong, they wouldn't need to balance the books every year. Very true. But again, I do think they're just following their instructions. There are a number of signings, though, that are just absolutely crazy. Robert Sanchez is one. Let's look at Kieran Dewsbury Hall. That's another. João Felix, if we're looking at resale value, strange. What else? Yeah, Robert Sanchez was just criminal. Honestly, criminal. Terrible recruitment. Well, Maresca's talent ID for goalkeeper has been shocking. I am absolutely certain that he had a say on Petrovic going to Strasbourg. There's no way that the club did not seek the manager's advice or opinion on the matter of Petrovic. It is just bangers and mash waffle if you do not understand that. No team gets rid of their best goalkeeper if their manager wants to keep him and they don't have an intention of selling him the next season. No team does that. It tells you the clear story that Maresca was a huge factor in Petrovic going. A huge factor. And, anyone who says send Sanchez to Strasbourg, nah. Just I don't even want. That is disrespect beyond. That is the ultimate level of spitting on a club that, honestly, God, to go from Petrovic to Robert Sanchez, for us, we felt the pain. We can't put Strasbourg through that. Anywhere but Strasbourg, please. Oh, my goodness. No way. That's not good. Give him Jorgensen. Give him Mike Penders. I could live with that. I think that's a reasonable. It's a downgrade, but it's acceptable. Jay says, I think Petrovic might be gone this summer as long as Sanchez's boyfriend, Ben Roberts, is here. We're stuck. Nevertheless, there'll be a huge player exodus this summer. My thoughts on Jonathan Tah on a free. Listen, it's an interesting signing. Like off the top of my head, I don't really have a problem with us signing Jonathan Tah. I mean, how old is he? He's 29. German, centre-back, very, very tall. He's playing most games for Bayern Leverkusen this season. He's played all of their games that they had in the Champions League. So he's been a very reliable player for them in that sense this season. His value is pretty much remained the same. He was slightly more valuable a number of years ago, but he seems like an okay defender. I don't know. I don't really know what to say. Like, why are more people not talking about Jonathan Tah? We know he's going to leave. Like, he is not signing a new contract. He is not signing a new contract. That's just not happening. Why is that? Is it because of... I don't think it's because of wages, because I think if it was just to do with money, I actually think that he'd probably be okay. So I think it just comes down to maybe wanting a new challenge, wanting something different. You know, he's won a couple of trophies. Couple. I don't really know, to be honest with you. I'm not against it. If you were to sell Tosin for profit, how much would I accept for Tosin? If someone was to offer 15 to 20 million for Tosin, I would accept that if we could get Jonathan Tah. So that's my... Yeah, you know what? That's a fair one. You get me Jonathan Tah on a free, and you sell Tosin for 15 to 20 million, that is great business. Jonathan Tah is a better player, more experience at the highest level. He's a winner because he has actually won trophies at Leverkusen. Like, he's not a serial winner, but he is a winner. He's won things. We need as much of that as we can get in our squad. He brings height, which losing out on Tosin, if you get Jonathan Tah, is like for like. I just think he's a better player. So if you sell Tosin for good money, then I can appreciate the signing of Jonathan Tah. Mr. Crimson Chin Post. Kepa is not the one. You know, sometimes in life, a ship just sails. And that ship has sailed. Kepa is not a Chelsea man. Kepa doesn't like Chelsea. Kepa doesn't want to be at Chelsea. Kepa disrespected Chelsea. When times got tough, he was out the door straight away. Didn't want anything to do with us. He was happy being on the bench at Real Madrid more so than playing for Chelsea. Nah, Kepa's a big no from me. Big fat N-O. I have no idea where this Cole Palmer hate's coming from. It's certainly not from me. I mean, that's criminal. Brilliant player. Fantastic. Even if he's matured, I'd still not give him a shot. No chance. Absolutely zero. Listen, got another update for you guys regarding Carney Chukwuemeka. The Dortmund manager, Niko Kovac, has come out and had his say on the player. Carney will return to Chelsea first. What happens after that is still, bless me, is still up in the air. It's clear that he has qualities and that I like him, that we all like him. But Chelsea is smart enough to structure the process in such a way that they will benefit from it. And I actually don't know how to, what's the word? I'm not 100% sure how to take that. When they say Chelsea are benefiting from this, I mean, are we talking strictly financially here, or are we talking about the footballing side of things? Because, I mean, Dortmund has obviously been a great loan for him in terms of just the fact that he's been able to get some game time at a top club. And I'm underperforming top club, but it's still a top club. I see Chukwuemeka having a place in this Chelsea team next season. Fucking hell, I am struggling. Sorry, guys. These 10 p.m. streams. Whew. I see this as a player who we will absolutely get something out of next season if we put some faith and some trust in him. If we give Chukwuemeka the same amount of trust, a little bit more trust than we gave, let's just say, João Felix. João Felix played, what, 10% of all games available? let's just say Chukwuemeka played 25 next season. Good rotation option for Palmer, still getting enough, minutes in order to progress. He's got European football, whether that's Europa League or Champions League, we'll find out. And obviously, you can get some minutes in the Premier League if we have to rotate for injury purposes, or if we decide to reposition Palmer at some point on the right-hand side, which would definitely be my preference. Then Chukwuemeka would have a future at Chelsea, but I think that Chelsea are just waiting for a good offer. And that's my stance on Chukwuemeka. I don't want us to sell him. I really don't, but I think we will. Steve, I just had one. Well, not a coffee, a tea. I don't actually drink coffee. Just had one. I don't know what's going on. Thank you for the kind messages. Appreciate that. Have I seen them talk about Coble coming to us north? So Jonathan David must be in the mix. I mean, I haven't heard anything about Jonathan David or Coble, to be honest with you. So I don't know why that is. I just haven't heard anything. So yeah, very minimal. I mean, if there's a link or something that you can give me, I'm happy to look it up on stream live, but I don't know anything. So yeah. Yeah, I think Chukwuemeka will be sold. I'd rather keep Carney than Sancho as well. I totally agree with you, man. Totally agree with you. Thing is, if Chukwuemeka cost us 40 million, I think it'll be different. But because we bought him for about 40, there is a deal where you make money. And every player that we bring in now, the intention is, will we make money if we have to sell or if we want to sell? I think that's the issue. Moving on to Dean Hoysen, Graham Bailey. He says, having spoken to Bournemouth sources, they reiterated that they see him most likely staying in the Premier League, and from what they believe, the favourites for him are Liverpool, not to discount Chelsea or Arsenal or Newcastle, but Liverpool are pushing hard. That's according to Graham Bailey of TBR Football. So we've heard a few things from Graham Bailey. I'm sure he had a word to say on... yes, he had a word to say on Jamie Gittens as well. Pies tweeted about 10 hours ago about Kobo. We'll have a look. We'll have a look at it then, shall we? We'll have a look. And I'm really looking forward to that book as well from Abramovich. I will 100% be buying that and reading it. Although Abramovich isn't writing it himself, but he's being interviewed, and then the autobiography has been written about him, which is going to be fascinating. So that's interesting. What else? Chelsea are in pole position ahead of Monaco for Napoli midfielder Andre Frank, Zambo and Guisa. The Blues are putting pressure on the 29-year-old Cameroonian. Now, this is another weird signing because he's 29 years old. Doesn't really seem like your typical Blue Co play. Why are Chelsea interested or supposedly interested in this player? I tell you right now why, and I tell you why that will change very, very quickly, or could change very, very quickly. His contract runs out at the end of the season. So Chelsea are basically looking at a free transfer. If he signs an extension, which will happen, by the way, he's not going to sign it, but Napoli have a clause where they can extend his contract for 2 more years so they don't lose him on a free. Then obviously they'll get some money for the player. What I will say, though, is that from what reports in Italy have said, is that, and this is Gazzetta dello Sport, is that even if the contract gets extended, he's still going to go. And I presume he wants to leave. I'm guessing, I mean, that's got to be the only logical reason, right? So he obviously doesn't want to be at the club for whatever reason. He's been at Napoli. He's won the league title. Who knows? Who knows? I mean, speaking of a new contract, a little bit of breaking news that happened about an hour, or sort of within the past hour. Strasbourg head coach Liam Rosnier has extended his contract at the club until June 2028. The 40-year-old turned down multiple approaches from the Premier League, from Premier League clubs to commit to the League R side. That's reported from David Ornstein. The question is why? And I think if we look at the replies to those tweets, and I haven't actually read them, but I'm guessing it's going to be something to do with yes, that's the first comment I can see. Take him at the parent club, can't be any worse than the current manager. I was waiting for that. Yeah, so that's from David Ornstein on The Athletic. If we go through that, luckily I'm a subscriber of The Athletic. Under the leadership of President Mark Keller, in collaboration with ownership group Blueco, who also own the Premier League side Chelsea, Strasbourg are in course for a historic season by challenging for European qualification. They are currently 7th in Liga, which could get them there with only 4 rounds of fixtures remaining. Strasbourg have done that only once since 2005. Yeah, even then in 2019-20, they fell short of making the Europa League group stage after losing a playoff to Eintracht Frankfurt. Strasbourg have the youngest squad in Liga with an average starting age of 21.4 years, according to Transfer Market, and are among the youngest squads in European football history. Rosnia was sacked by Hull City as head coach in May 2024, despite being nominated for Championship Manager of the Year in 23-24, along with Kieran McKenna and Daniel Farke. A former right-back, Rosnia started his managerial career at Derby County, having been appointed as interim coach following the resignation of Wayne Rooney in 2022 and joining Hull later that year on a 2.5-year contract. So, yeah, that is the update with regards to Liam Rosnia. By the way, I'm a huge fan. I think, you know what? When you look at young managers making their way in the world of football, that is what I think about. Not fucking Maresca. Energy, attractive football, improving the team, impact, clear improvement. So, you know, that's not what I see with Maresca. Also, another update to do with Jamie Gittens as well. An update that I think is a load of rubbish. Give Me Sport have come out and said something else. Look what they said here. Can you believe this? Chelsea have set their sights on luring Borussia Dortmund star Jamie Gittens to Stamford Bridge and could allow Jadon Sancho to head in the opposite direction in a separate deal when the transfer window reopens. Give Me Sport. Give me some fucking truth. What the fuck is that? Are you kidding me? That's the best you can come up with? Jesus. Poor. You got to do better than that, boys. You've got to do better than that. Oh, goodness. I mean, if that is part of the deal, if that is the play, let's just presume it's actually real. What do you guys think about it? Do you think, would you use Jadon Sancho in a deal to get Jamie Gittens? Is that something that you think would benefit Chelsea? Like, do you actually see that as an upgrade? I don't really see how Gittens is an upgrade on Sancho, to be totally honest with you. I haven't watched the guy play much, though, so it's very difficult for me to, to look at it from that perspective. Who knows? We'll have to wait and see. Oh, Cunha would be fun, wouldn't he? He can play on the left. He can play on the left side, so I can see it. Don't think it will happen, but I could see it. Smash the like button if you haven't already as well, guys. We've got over 80 of you in the building. Let's get up to 60 likes. Let me know what we're on, guys. I have no idea. Let's have a look. 42 as it stands. Smash that like button, guys. Smash that like button. Let's get straight up to 60. Doesn't take a minute. Doesn't cost you anything. Helps the channel. Makes me feel better as well. Because at least you're enjoying the streams. Or at least I think you're enjoying it. Okay, moving on. One other piece of information to do with the transfer situation at Chelsea, and then we're going to quickly preview Everton. And Nkunku, Arsenal and Bayern Munich are interested in a summer transfer for Christopher Nkunku. This was reported by Fabrice Hawkins. No surprise. I think both of these teams, especially Bayern Munich, were linked with Nkunku in January. And to be quite frank, I could see him playing for both sides. He is a player that would improve both teams. We know he performs in Germany. He did a great job at Leipzig. He was one of the best players in his position. I think he would actually do quite well at Arsenal as well, to be honest with you. I very much want to avoid Nkunku going to Arsenal because I think he would help them. So, yeah, for me, the best case scenario is that he goes to Germany. That's what I want to see. But anything can happen, huh? Anything can happen. So we'll have to wait and see what the crack is with Christopher Nkunku. Now, one thing as well that I think is important to speak about briefly is what Maresca had to say before this game. He was confronted by a journalist, and his response was a little bit, I don't know, arrogant. Is that the way I could say? I mean, let's have a listen, shall we?
Beginning, they are showing that they are not happy. So, in the way we assess,
talk about the fans at the moment, just so you're aware.
When they were thinking that Chelsea is back, we need to assess now that they are not happy. The only thing I can say, and I said already many times, is that the players, they are working hard every day to bring this club where this club has to be, and the club has a vision. The journey just started, and I think we go in the right direction.
You said the journey's just starting. If you don't finish top 5 in the Champions League places, as you said, that's now your target. Would it be seen as a failure?
Again, but I think I already answered a few times this one.
And what was that?
That compared to the last 2 years has been not a fail.
Simon?
How many times in the last 2 years Chelsea has been Champions League?
Yeah.
How many?
Oh, God.
0. How many times this season? Almost all season. Is an improvement or not?
How many trophies at Maresca? 0. 0 this season, 0 the last season, 0 the season before. What's your point, Enzo? What's your point?
0. How many times this season? Almost all season. Is an improvement or not?
Oh, God.
No, it's just, is an improvement or not?
Yeah, well, I suppose
It's like the whole fucking possession thing. But we had 70% possession. We had the ball for the majority of the game, so we deserve to win the game. That's not how it works. You have to put the ball in the net, and you have to stop other teams putting the ball in the back of your net. Just like it doesn't matter how long you're in the top 4 for, because if you don't finish in the top 4, it's a failure. People speak about the bottle job that we had last season with Poch because he's Spursy. What are you? If Enzo Maresca was sacked from Chelsea at the end of this season, would Spurs give him the job? No. It's not even good enough for that fucking club. Jesus Christ.
Yeah, no, it's already an improvement because we spend all season there. Now, we're going to try our best to finish there, no doubt. We want to finish there, no doubt. We are happy to finish there. Yes, it's enough. No, because we want to compete for titles. But compared to last 2 years, I think it's quite clear that there is an improvement. Now, if you want to see it, you see it. If you don't want to see it, you don't see it.
But I want to see it, Maresca, Enzo. I want to see it. What I saw is Chelsea not winning an away game in the Premier League until we played Fulham, almost 4 months down the line. What I've seen is some of the most boring games of football, I've ever seen. What I've seen is you criticize the fans for the inability to get the players to play the style of football that you want them to produce. and the lack of flexibility that you have yourself tactically when you use these players. That's what I've seen. By the way, guys, I reiterate, if Maresca gets Champions League in football and wins the Conference League, I retract everything I say. He won't do it. He won't do it.
Depends in which way I see that.
Simon?
Hey, so, how has...
Yeah, man, he's fucking deluded. He's deluded. Potter is better. He's better. Look, we don't know how well Potter would do it with the Chelsea job. Just look at his track record. Look at his CV. That's all you have to judge these managers off. What has Potter achieved in football? What did he have to do to get to the stage where he got the Chelsea job? What did Maresca have to do? Potter was actually a football manager of a university, the University of Leeds, if I'm not wrong. He then moved to Sweden to coach there in like the 5th division or something like that, something crazy. He got them promoted to the 1st division and qualified for the Europa League, and then played against Arsenal, where they played extremely well. Got the Swansea job, did well. Got the Brighton job, did well. Got the Chelsea job. Seems to be a recurring theme under this ownership that managers don't perform. Maybe Potter would have been the answer. Who knows? But I'm not saying he would have been, but better than what we have. We will never know. And he won't get sacked. You're absolutely right. He will not get sacked. This is my predicted lineup going into the game. This is the team that I think has a good chance of starting. Robert Sanchez in goal. Mark Cucurella on the left. Colwell, Chalobah, Reece James, Fernandes, Caicedo, Sancho, Palmer, Neto, with Tyreek George up top as a striker, replacing Nicholas Jackson. That is what I want to see, if I'm honest with you. I want to see Jackson dropped. I want to see George as a striker. I think his movement has been exceptional. I think his finishing has proven worthy of a striker based on what we saw in the Fulham game. If it wasn't for him, the comeback would have never happened. Credit to Neto as well, obviously, for scoring the winning goal. That's why he starts. Sancho had a good impact against Ipswich when he came on, had a good impact against Fulham. He deserves to start. Cole Palmer, I mean, you're not going to drop Palmer, are you? Same as you're not going to drop Fernandes or Caicedo, although there is an argument that maybe we put Lavia in the fold, and he is a player that, you know, we obviously play a lot better generally when he's in the team. I think we can beat Everton without Lavia. That being said, if Lavia starts, I'm not going to complain, but there's a good chance he probably doesn't start. Maybe he comes off the bench, or if he does start and he plays 45 minutes, again, another option to look at. Reece James, look, the Conference League is not as important as the Premier League. You play your best players in the fucking league. Do not drop Reece James to then play him on a Thursday night. And just going back to the West Ham reference from here, you do realise Brighton fans didn't like Graham Potter when he first went there. Like, you do know that. There are managers out there who need time, like genuinely need time. And I'm all for giving people time. I just don't understand why Maresca is that manager. Like, the when you weigh it up, that does not compute in my head. He's not experienced. He's not a winner. He's never worked at a club like Chelsea. He's never worked in the Premier League as a manager. This is his 3rd season as a gaffer. It's actually his 2nd season, because he didn't even last a full season at Parma. Like, what are we on about justifying that this guy's good enough? But yeah, that's my predicted 11 anyway. And my score prediction is 3-1 against Everton. So we'll see what happens. Listen, I hope you're wrong, Byron. I really hope you're wrong. I think that I don't really know, but I'm going to guess that we can win the Conference League. Of course I am. Listen, guys, I'm going to round it up there. Appreciate all your time. Thanks so much, everyone, for tuning in. We will be back with another show on Sunday evening. Okay, Sunday evening will be the next live show, which I will more than likely be hosting, and I will be happy to do it. Smash that like button if you haven't already. Subscribe to the channel. If you want to support the channel in more ways, you can become a member and join the Chelsea Fan TV membership community. There is information in the description, so go and check that out. Big up to everyone. Appreciate your time, and we will catch up very, very soon.